Hi, Stampers. It's Lisa with Queen Bee Creations. Welcome to my Monday live. I go live every Monday and Thursday right here on YouTube and in my Facebook group. And I'm so glad you could join me today as we make this adorable little box. And it's kind of a book fold in that it opens up like a book, but inside it houses cards. So a lot of us have said that the cards we send the most often are birthday cards. I also give quite a few cards as gifts. And so by making this cute little box, you either have a little storage niche for, keeping your cards safe until they're ready to mail, or it makes a great gift box for sending them as a gift. So welcome everyone. Ginger thought she was here all alone, but nope. People have joined us. Hello, Carrie. Good to see you. Thank you, Ginger, for putting in hashtag prize patrol. That is how you get entered into the drawing to win today's card. And today's card isn't a card, it's a box. So it might come to you flat because otherwise the post office is going to make it flat anyways, right? So we might as well just send it that way so that you can make your own box. So let's get you down onto my work surface and you can see what I'm doing. I'm rambling a little bit because I am tired. This weekend I had my annual card making retreat. We went away for 3 nights in Rockland. We had a blast, and I'm still catching up. So this is what we're starting with. I have one piece of cardstock here that is 7 inches by 10 1/8. And I know that sounds a little funky. Why are we doing that? We're doing that because I'm going to go and score this at 4 7/8. And then I'm going to leave 1 1/8 inch difference in here. So this is 4 7/8 and then 6. But then I need an additional 4 7/8 so that the front and the back are the same size. I'm throwing that extra 1/8 inch in there so that it's a little bit taller than the tray we're going to put on the inside. The tray that we're using is made up using a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 6 5/8. And then we're going to notch into that. And then I've got some pieces we're going to cover up the front and back with this is Azure Afternoon. That's one of our new colors. And then we're going to put Highland Heather over the top, which is 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then I'm using 6 inch by 4 inch designer series paper to go over the front. I had to start with 6 inch being my longest on this one because these are 6 inch by 6 inch designer series paper. It's part of the Beautiful Balloons suite. And it's got all these great patterns that can be used for celebrations. Now, immediately I think birthday, but it can also be used for graduation and, just accomplishments at work, retirements, you name it, any kind of celebration. This is going to be a great bundle. And then it's got some, additional patterns on the back that are a little more subtle if you just wanted some kind of a background. So there's that. Always check the back of your designer series paper for this little informational box because it's going to tell you what colors are used in that designer series paper. And that's usually how I start crafting, is I know kind of what I want to do and I know what designer series paper I'll probably end up using. And then I pull out those colors in my cardstock and in my inks, and then I can start working. So I'm going to start with the bottom tray, and I'm going to take a pair of paper snips, and I'm just going to remove the score line. And so what I'm doing is just niching down with my paper snips on either side of the score line. Oh, and this was scored at 1 inch from each of the edges. I just stuck it in my trimmer and scored it 1 inch, rotated, scored it 1 inch, rotated. And now I'm just removing basically the part of the cardstock that has the score line on it. So I've cut on both sides, then I'm just going to remove this middle. This was a box we actually made at retreat. We made this box and then, what was it, 7 more cards? But we basically filled the box with cards. So you're going to take the tabs that we just created, and we're going to fold those to the inside. We're going to put adhesive on those and then attach them to the side walls. Some people choose to put their strips on for the decorating while it's still flat. Sometimes that does make it easier if you wanted to lay it flat and put your decorations on. Other times people think it confuses them when we go to put it in, because we need one side to be blank and we want to make sure that we're not putting that blank. We want the blank side to be in the binding. We don't want it outside. One of the gals at retreat had put it in with the part she decorated on the inside. And so I thought decorating it afterwards, we avoid that. But it's all a matter of personal preference. That's the wonderful thing about crafting, is it's all personal preference and there's no way to do it wrong. Okay, so there's our little tray. And then this is our box. We can go ahead and decorate by putting these 2 sheets on there. I'm using liquid glue so I can kind of wiggle it around and get centered. And then I have additional pieces for the edge here. So I've got a piece for the binding, piece of designer series paper to go over that, and then one over each of these. So this piece is 3/4 by 6 1/4. And then the designer series paper is 6 by 1/2 inch. What's been your favorite bundle out of the new catalog so far? We've had a month to play with it. And there was lots of new stuff in there. Have you found a favorite? Is there something in there you absolutely have to have or already ordered right away? I want to know what you guys think so that I can figure out what I'm going to order next, so that hopefully there's something that you're excited about that I can make sure I showcase. I'm also curious what things that you saw in the catalog and went, that's not for me. And then all of a sudden somebody demonstrates with it and you went, oh my gosh, now I have to have it. That's what usually happens to me. I see things that I want, I know what I like, but then all of a sudden, boom, somebody mentions, or does a card with a stamp set and I have to have it. I am reaching over to my drawer because what I need next is a piece of ribbon, because this is what's going to tie the book closed. So I'm kind of roughly looking at, okay, I need it to be about that far over. I need about this much excess to tie with. So I'm going to find my end, match these up, and make sure these are, about long enough. And then I'm going to glue this across the middle. I did this with Terran tape. If I set it on my grid paper, and then I kind of just follow where this midline is, see my mark there, and come straight across to my mark on this side, then I'm straight. Then I'm going to take my ribbon, which is approximately 24 inches. And I'm going to fold it in half, find the middle, and then I'm going to place the middle right on my binding. And then run each side out. Now I'm doing this first before putting the tray in, and it's going to go in here. And so that's why I'm going to wait this time to put my edges on after that's glued on, so I make sure not to decorate this edge. Carrie says she likes the Fresh as a Daisy bundle, or the Cheerful Daisy bundle, Fresh as a Daisy suite. That is what we are using for our online retreat that's coming up. Laura Buchler is from Canada, and she and I do a quarterly retreat online. And this time we are using that Daisy bundle. So when you register for that online retreat, you get the bundle as part of your registration. You also get, of course, all of the pre-cut materials for all the cards we're going to make, access to the Facebook group where we'll be playing all of our games, and then the link to the Zoom where we will be spending the day making all of our cards, so that we can interact and see what you're making and help you with any questions that you have about how everything goes together. So if you are interested in that, there's a link on my Facebook page, and I can also drop it down in the comments. Okay. This is for the side of our tray. And so this is, again, 6 1/4 by 3/4 of an inch. So basically the same as what's on our spine over there. So it's kind of going to be, a mirror image of the spine on that side. So this is 1/2 inch by 6 inches. Sorry, here we go. If you save that link from my website, queenbeecreations.net/retreat, I'm going to update that each quarter with the new retreat we will be doing. Like I said, this one's using the Fresh as a Daisy suite, and then we will do another one later in the year, probably October, and we'll be making Christmas cards. So we're waiting for the Christmas catalog to release, our August to December mini. Maybe it's going to be September to December now. They're trying to arrange things so that something new comes out every 2 months. So like we got our mini catalog in January. In March, we got online exclusives. So May, we got our annual catalog. July, we will have new online exclusives. Yeah, September will be the mini, and then November will be online exclusives. So if I can get that straight in my head, it's a nice, neat pattern. My accounting brain loves that. Makes it so much easier to know that basically we get a new catalog or a new online item every odd month. Because some people have said that there wasn't as much on their wish list for this new catalog. And it's kind of because they're saving things. You know, it's going to be on our online exclusives section. So we got some early in March, and we're going to get some late in July. So if you add those things together with what's in the new catalog, then you kind of have about what we got out of the new catalog last time, I think. I'm going to do this additional piece for the inside. On my other box, I did it in Highland Heather, but then I felt it like needed something. This time I'm doing it in the Azure Afternoon, just to hide the ribbon. So now you think we're almost done, right? Well, what I want to do next is add our little letters across the bottom down here. I already pre-cut them. I used the Alphabet a la Mode dies. This is a very large set that, again, is, you know, one of those basics. It can be used for everything, regardless of occasion. And it covers the entire alphabet with extra letters for those things that we use a lot of. And then it's got all of our numbers and special characters and little, you know, an exclamation point and extra pieces. I just pulled out the letters to make cards. I'm cutting this out of Berry Burst, which is one of our returning colors. Somewhere close is my take your pick tool, because it's got a little pointy end on it, which is fabulous for punching these out of their dies, because they have the little ejection holes at the top. Come on. Of course, I can't put my fingers on it just because I said it was nearby. So I'm going to use my mechanical pencil. I find that fits through there. I just make the ink or the lead go inside and then pop this out. And I put adhesive sheet on the back side before I die cut them. So now they are basically stickers. So I can go ahead and add them easily to our project just by peeling off the back. Come on. See, again, this is where the take your pick tool would be very handy. So I'm going to start with my C over here. And I'm using the line at the bottom on my designer series paper as kind of a guide. these letters are a little easier to work with because they are basically the same width. Each letter is the same width. Some of our other alphabets, they've been different. And so the M, say, was much wider than a V or an N. These have been fairly consistent. I mean, there's things like the I. There's not a whole lot you can do to make that wider, but it makes it easier for spacing them out on the card or your project, whatever it is you're working with. But if whatever you're working with, one handy idea is to start with laying them out, getting an idea of where they're going to go. And then I put the first and the last letter on there. And then I'm going to gauge where the middle is. And then I'm going to take my middle letter and put that down, evenly spaced between the two. Again, lining up on the bottom. Then when I put my A in, I'm going to line up evenly between those two. And then the D evenly spaced between the last two. So what do you think? Does that make it easier? Okay, so there we go. Now you're ready to fill it with cards, and then you can just make a little bow here on the end. And it's ready to give as a gift. Like I said, mine was filled with the cards that we made at retreat. So we did this awesome shaker card. This is what I'm going to be making for our card on Thursday. And so I'll show you how we can easily make that part that holds the shakers. Then there's this one where we use the fringe die to make fringe that hangs off the end of the card. How fun is that? With the die itself doesn't cut all the way to the edge. So when we lay this in there, we're going to make sure that we have the paper on the cut marks if we want it all the way to the end. If you don't, you can use it to weave ribbon or other cardstock in and out of on the front of a card as well. Just another option. There's another card with a Dutch door, I think I want to call that. This one's a gatefold card, and we slip off the belly band, and then it's got the gatefold to the inside. This is a fun twist card. So it kind of looks like it's a, one of those bookmark cards, book style cards, but it's not. It's a twist. This is a gift card holder, which is very similar to the one that we did with the monkey dies last week. And then there's this one here. So lots of fun stuff. Like I said, come back Thursday and we'll be doing that shaker card and playing around with more stamps. Ginger said she never made anything good enough to give away. Now, I don't know about that. I think we are our harshest critic. I think if you gave someone else a handmade card, they would be thrilled and so honored that you took the time and the effort to make them something that was heartfelt. So I think we need to stop being so hard on ourselves, both in the making of the card and the giving of the card. Okay, has everyone put in hashtag prize patrol? Again, I said that's how you're going to get into the drawing to get today's project mailed flat so you can put it together. The shaker cards. Okay, shaker cards, when you're looking at this design, I've been using, and we used at Retreat, the straight strips. But another thing you can do if you're worried about having it connect like all the way around is you can use your foam adhesive sheets, and you can use your dies to cut this out. So say I wanted to use this large section of balloons and I want to make this a shaker card. You would die cut out the set of balloons. Nope. Switch over. Out of the foam. Then you would take your snips and just, snip around the outside edge, but that gives you a continuous edge. Whereas with the long foam strips, you have to make the edges connect. So that may help in keeping your shaker cards together. Another thing is when we make them upside down. So I cut out the balloons, then I put the plastic behind it, had it set on my desk, and add the foam, and then we're going to put the stuff in it and then put cardstock over the top. So then it's all encapsulated before we stick it to the card. Is that making sense? Another thing you can do is you can put your shaker stuff into a clear envelope, one of our medium clear acetate envelopes, and then put that onto a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece, and it encapsulates it that way too. So stick with me, Ginger. We're going to find a way to make your cards presentable that you can give them to someone who will be very deserving of your handmade art. Okay, so let's go ahead and give our wheel a spin and see who today's winner is. Okay, share that one. And then we're going to spin. So there we go. Jennifer is our winner. Congratulations, Jennifer. You win today's project pieces, because we're going to let you put it together so the mailman doesn't smash it. And all you need to do is run over to my website, queenbeecreations.net, add /prize patrol to the end, and enter in your mailing address, and I will pop that in the mail. So come back on Thursday, and we're going to play around with shaker cards, and we're going to get Ginger perfected over there, okay? Thanks. Bye.